Napoleon Bonaparte was born in 1769, a year after the Corsica Highland had been annexed by the French army. France annexed the Corsica Highland, that is in 1768. 1768, that's when Napoleon Bonaparte was almost soon coming out of the mother's womb. So in 1768, that is when the French army took over the Corsica Highland under its control. And by the time Napoleon came outside of Laetitia Bromeno Bonaparte, the mother, he came out when the French army had already colonized the Corsica Highland. Napoleon was born in the Republic of Ajaccio and in a country called Italy. So he was an Italian by origin and a Frenchman by birth. By birth, Napoleon was a Frenchman. So this granted him the opportunity of enjoying the privileges that were enjoyed by the French people. This made Napoleon to get the opportunity of associating with the French people. Napoleon was able to also study within the French schools, military and elementary schools. Look what the University of El Galileo, there is Brennioa, all those universities. Napoleon was able to at least attain his education in those schools. In different military academies like this one that you see I'm highlighting was one of the military academies that Napoleon went to, and there he associated with all the classes of people, the peasants, the nobles, the clergy, the children from the rich families, and this at least made him to become more ambitious. He was able to gain what we call ambitious quotations and ambitions that he wanted to score at the end of the day, which made him to become a hard-working person in his life. For instance, when he was in the universities, when he was in the military academies, he was quoted saying, "When I grow up, I will become a soldier and I will mock each and every battle that comes on my way." This made Napoleon to work day and night. This made Napoleon to work tooth and nail to ensure that he scores his goal. Even Napoleon, he was quoted, Napoleon was born in a very poor family. He was coming from a peasant family. This made him to have bigger dreams that he wanted to score at the end of the day. Napoleon, at the age of 10 years, his father forged him a military scholarship. Charles Bonaparte was the father of Napoleon I. Charles Bonaparte had close friends in what we call the second class. He had close friends in the nobility class who helped him in forging a military scholarship, in forging a scholarship for his son. So his father, Charles Bonaparte, helped him to win that opportunity of studying in good schools with the children of the rich. And there, Napoleon I, he was able to study different constitutions of different countries. He was able to access constitutions of countries like Britain, France itself, among others. And there he was able to attain what we call military skills. Napoleon Bonaparte, by the time the French Revolution broke up, he had already graduated as a lieutenant at the age of 16 years. Napoleon became a famous person. He became a famous person that generation and generations got to know about his legacy. Napoleon fought a number of wars. Actually, he fought several wars on behalf of France. He fought several wars to ensure that France is on the table. He's the person who made France to transform from France as a country, to transform from France as a mere monarchy to what we call an empire. So France became an empire with him as the first French emperor, after him overthrowing the electorate government in the famous Bromel coup d'etat that he organized on 9th November 1799 at Bromel. Napoleon overthrew the electorate government and became now the new new leader, and he was able to put a number of reforms called Napoleon. Established schools. Napoleon looked at career open to talent. Napoleon established a strong army. Napoleon centralized the power. Napoleon promoted the girl child education. Napoleon promoted what we call elementary education. Napoleon introduced the banking sectors. He gave loans to agriculturalists to improve on the agriculture sector. Napoleon also carried out agricultural reforms. A number of things were done by Napoleon, and this made him very famous, made him stronger and stronger day and night. Napoleon was too ambitious, to the extent that even he fought a number of battles that at the end of the day actually made things to turn against him. Napoleon Bonaparte was a son of Charles Bonaparte. He was a brother to Lucien Bonaparte. Fortunately, in the process of annexing Corsica Highland, his father had 13 children, and Napoleon Bonaparte was the last born among the 8 children that survived the struggles of Corsica annexation. During Corsica annexation, Charles Bonaparte lost almost 5 children in the process of annexing Corsica Highland. Only 8 children survived the struggle, and Napoleon Bonaparte was the last born among the 8 children. But putting that aside, he fought tooth and nail. He did everything to ensure that France is now respected. France is now a bigger and a bigger and a bigger powerful state. Different philosophers like Lozou wrote about the annexation of Corsica Highland, wrote about something about the Corsica Highland, and to him, he said that the Corsica Highland will fall under the control of European powers, and his prophecies came true. Napoleon Bonaparte, after entering into these schools, he made different movements, campaigns, the Italian campaign, the Egyptian campaign. So he did a lot. That's why we are studying about him in this history. Napoleon was the greatest general the world has ever produced. He dominated his age even after his death. He had occupied way important place in the history of the world. He was a man of enormous energy, self-confidence, fearlessness, resourcefulness. He was a very, 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 very strong and committed and determined person. Napoleon, since his childhood, is believed to have been more ambitious. Napoleon tried to create a pace, to create something that others can follow. Napoleon even wanted to make sure that all European countries can bow before him. That's why he even organized what we call the continental system, to make those so-called powerful states to recognize him. He was born on 5th August 1769 in Corsica Highland, the Republic of Ajaccio, in Genoa, that is in Italy. Within a short span of time, the island was sold to France, and he got his military training and joined the army at the age of 17. Napoleon, he was hardly 20 when the French Revolution broke out. Yes, by this time round, Napoleon was able to show his military and battle experience during the French Revolution. Napoleon, because of his participation in the French Revolution as a lieutenant, Napoleon showed the skills that even others admired. He became a very famous and common person. People used to hear him in stories, but others were able to fight with him during the French Revolution. So he associated with the revolutionaries like Max Pierre Robespierre, Herbert, Jacques Danton, among other revolutionaries who taught him revolutionary skills that he also employed to ensure that he scores the goal of leadership. So coalitions were made. So after the formation of the first coalition, Napoleon was appointed to the command of the military in Italy. The Italian campaign lasted from April 1796 to April, to 1797. So Napoleon Bonaparte moved to Italy for a campaign, trying to spread the revolutionary doctrines, trying to campaign for France. Yes, it has been summarized in these words. He came, he saw, he conquered. That's why. That's how the thing was summarized. He came, he saw, he conquered. He defeated Austria first, and he defeated the Austrian force and the Sardinians. So the government of Sardinia sought for peace and agreed to hand over Savoy and Nancy to France. Napoleon described this over his achievements in the word of his soldiery. In 15 days, you have won 60 victories, taken 21 stands of color and 55 pieces of cannon and several frontiers, and conquered the richest part of Piedmont. You have killed almost 15,000 men, but for soldiers you have done nothing, since there remains something for you to do. You have still you have still battles to fight, towns to take, and rivers to cross. So Napoleon Bonaparte was ambitious, and he made a number of attempts to change France to the levels of an empire from just a country. So we have the Australian campaign. After his victory in Italian campaign, he directed his attention towards the Australians. He crossed the Po River, but there was a heavy fight at the Lundy Bridge, which is across the Adda River. So it was 350 feet long. After heavy fighting, they crossed the river and defeated. Napoleon Bonaparte described none has equaled the, the tragedies passage of the bridge of Lodi. Napoleon came to be called by his soldiers the little corporal. Others used to call him, I've forgotten the name, but Napoleon was taken to be a person of his own legacy, which others could not even follow. So we shall look at different factors for the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte to power, and what things did he do to keep himself in power, and what things did he do to create change in France. When we come back, we shall look at a number of things that favored the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte to power.